Hey, it's Cory, your DM. Welcome to Vibe Proficiency, a D&D podcast about death, getting free shaved ice, and definitely not stealing blood, I guess. Mostly just your typical thanks for listening type message up front here. We really appreciate you coming back for more of these and for all the kind words over on Twitter at Vibe Proficiency and, on our Apple Podcast ratings. It's super cool of you. Kind of a side note, a handful of folks have reached out recently to ask if there are canonical physical traits for certain characters and NPCs, for art purposes, and no, not really. Sometimes it'll come up in dialogue about how Peck is red and Meira has black eyes, but you're not going to hurt our feelings if you picture the characters differently than we do or anything like that. We love all the art that's been sent over and are displaying it prominently on our fridge, or we pinned them in our party's Discord chat at least. So thank you again. Anyway, if you happen to think about it, let a friend know about the show or tweet about it using the hashtag Vibe Proficiency. It really means a lot. All right, intros and then the episode. Thanks.
I am Rebecca. I am playing Meira. She is a tiefling druid. And are you ready for some convoluted fun facts? So she grew up alone in the woods, and so in order to gain her acrobatic and athletic abilities, she had to watch a lot of animals. In particular, she liked watching robins jump from tree to tree and just fly and flutter. She got the idea of taking her quarterstaff and splitting it in two pieces so that she could also just nimbly fly like a robin.
Like a robin. Yeah.
Yeah. She particularly likes to hunt at night as a tiefling, night. So she really uses that Nightwing power.
There it is.
Yeah, does she now?
How did I not see this before?
Okay. So you did mention that she's an orphan, right?
She's indeed an orphan.
There's that.
Did anyone ever take her in?
No one took her in, but she was surrounded by a lot of bats in her life.
That's fair. It's real dark out there.
Yeah, she slept in numerous bat caves.
Beautiful.
In my real backstory, the person that taught me how to be a paladin's name was Bruce.
Yeah.
Make them meet.
I really do like this idea at one point of a brooding man walking through the forest and stumbling upon Meira and seeing her flipping through trees. Yeah. That's canon now.
Okay.
All right. I got my fact. I'm Casey. I play Kira. She is a Kalishtar monk. After Kira joined or was taken in by the monks, even though her class of monk wasn't one of those vow of silence type monks, for the first year that she was in the monastery, she took her own vow of silence and did not speak a single word to anyone in the monastery for a full year.
Including her, her other spirit, or?
She spoke internally to him, so kind of like an inner monologue to him for that year. But anyone external, she did not speak for a whole year.
Dang.
And none of the monks questioned it. They all accepted it. Didn't ask her why at the end of the year she suddenly started speaking, and just took it as it is.
That's pretty rad.
I'm Tyler. I play Kadmist Lightbringer, half-orc paladin. And when Kadmist was a young, wee little lad, before the terrible events of his life happened to him, his mom was a really great cook for the village. One day there was this baking competition, and his mom really wanted Kadmist to become a part of it. He tried his best, but he wasn't a great cook, and he ended up burning the kitchen to the ground.
Oh.
And everyone made fun of him for that for the next 3 years of his life, and I don't think he ever truly got over that.
Yikes.
But the important question...
Die?
Oh.
I don't think so.
I like how I was going to ask the important question, and Chandler seems much more important of did anyone die, and mine was going to be, what did you make?
Yep, yeah.
He was trying to make crepes.
Love a good crepe.
What's your top favorite crepe?
He wouldn't know.
Wait, he had never had one before? So how was he planning to cook one?
Wild.
I think that those two things are connected.
Yeah, probably.
All right, here we go. Harp is a changeling ranger, and her fun fact is when she was like an itty bitty little changeling, she thought she was slick, and she got this key off of her mentor's stuff, and it has like the handle of a wing. Now that she's a lot older, she doesn't really know if her mentor knew about it or if she let her sort of have it. One of her like wins as a kiddo.
Does she still have it?
Yeah, she definitely still has it. She doesn't know what it does. She doesn't even know if it goes into anything, but she's got it on her. Kind of like a little remembrance type thing.
I can dig that.
Ahoy. Hell and well met, traveler.
Okay.
My name is Chandler. I play Elwin Peck, an elf who was turned into a pseudo-dragon because he made a deity mad. Fun fact about Peck, when he was in his younger years, he really wanted to climb a tree one time, and he climbed it, and then he couldn't get down, and he fell, and he hurt himself. He actually, like, broke his leg. So he has a big fear of heights. He doesn't like going up high.
That explains a lot of things.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
How does he feel about being picked up?
He'll kill you. He'll stab a man.
He'll push him right into a pit, would you say?
Preferably, yeah. He'll throw you in a pit real fast.
Well, see, the group doesn't know this, right?
That I threw someone into a pit?
No, fool, that you're afraid of heights.
No, I'm pretty sure he's yelled it before.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
someone
but
has picked him up and thrown
yeah,
him.
but we don't know why.
Oh, no, you don't know why he's afraid of heights.
See, then it'll never change.
Yeah, because if you don't know why somebody's afraid of something, you're allowed to keep terrorizing them, I think.
I mean, you're so terrible as Peck. I mean, come
He's
on.
not terrible.
I mean,
He has a complicated backstory.
he keeps saying that, but all I've seen him do is try to screw people over.
I'm sorry, who decided to give someone a ring that allows them to change their voice
Oh,
and go steal
We're
and
gonna go
pretend
back
to
to
be
this,
whoever
huh?
they want to be?
Listen,
we're going back
I think
to
we're
this.
going to have some like group sharing stick sessions because like
no, it's fine.
Listen, like a year from now, we're going to interact with someone who we're never going to see. And like, they're going to be really nice to us in the last second. They're going to screw us over. And then we're going to make perception checks and notice that they're wearing a ring with a sapphire on it, a sapphire braided metal. And then I'm going to look at the group and be like, told ya.
Listen,
And even more so, she'll have a tiny little girl standing behind her.
yeah, I mean, you already established the tiny girl as the big bad in-game boss, so
Oh, fair.
nah, I think I've got hope here, guys. I'm thinking it's going to be a good thing we gave her the ring.
Can you roll for if it was a good or bad thing?
roll for good thing.
Roll for good thing?
Is good thing even or odd?
Where would I roll for that?
Ooh, yeah, it was a 1 and a 2. That's
I hope
bit of
she ends up good too, because I promised her death if she didn't change her ways.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, this seems as good a segue as any. So last time on Vibe Proficiency, Kadmist and Meira stayed at the inn to keep an eye on Arwell, while the rest of you went and had an awkward conversation with the owner of the shop you planned to steal from, and tried to figure out which of the 3 magical rings Arwell wanted you to actually take. Eventually, you just kind of laid your cards on the table and told him what you were up to, but also you still totally went back into the shop in the middle of the night and tried to steal from him anyway. Meira cast Spider Climb on Peck so he could do some window snooping, and there was some awkwardness with his unseen servant before he finally got the keys. Harp disguised herself as one of the guards you all knocked out after you, I guess, convinced him there was a disappointed ghost making fun of him. But you all got inside and grabbed what you came for. You brought the ring to Arwell, and even though the party was a bit split on it, you gave it to her, and after telling you about the hooded figure she saw in town around the same time as the first attack, she took off, promising to leave the Moonshades and start over on the mainland. You all left Holyhead and started on your way back to Port Crescent with the knowledge of the house in the woods that the Crown Thief might be staying at, and 2 magical rings. One of them that lets you draw with light, and one that reduces your need for sleep to only 2 hours.
Oh, it's only 2 hours. Ooh.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Hey, did she by chance forget all her stuff in there and leave her thieves' tools in there that Kelly can grab?
No, she took her
We
pack
still
with
have her
her.
clothes,
But
though.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have her cloak and stuff
We
like
really
that.
just need to go buy Kelly some thieves' tools. And then I left with just a standard ring. How much would you say that ring was worth?
You could easily get like 75 gold out of this thing.
Cool.
It's just a plain band, but it's nice. You know what? 100 gold.
Sweet. I need that for some later spells. I need to actually have stuff that I can
Yeah,
spend for that.
got some
You know what we should
components in
do?
mind.
How many rings did you end up stealing?
Just the one.
Was it only one?
Just the one and the other 2
Because
magical
we
ones.
could save it for when we come back and then go to the shopkeep and be like, Because if we give it to the shopkeep and say, "Here, we apprehended the thief who stole this for you.
Well,
Sorry, we couldn't get the rest."
No, that's what I originally said, that I wanted to just double cross her, tie her up, take her to the shopkeep, and leave the rings back with him. That was my original plan. Was just to leave the rings with him and like give them right back to him.
Hoping that would be a good deed.
Basically, and while also getting someone who Elwin doesn't think should be free to do whatever they want. That was his thought process, that she needed to go to jail.
Cool
he didn't
motive,
care about
still
keeping
theft.
the rings other
I'm
than
finding
to...
Peck's moral code very interesting as we learn more about him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's a very
something.
complicated character.
I just think the group should be aware that we all have very different backgrounds. Not everyone's moral compass is there.
Peck's isn't much there. His moral compass points towards what he thinks is best for him, but then sometimes there are people who he goes, "Yep, you're clearly a bad person."
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my character just finds crime to be a job, and it is what it is.
Before we leave her room, I want to go back to human form,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to leave a note in her room saying, "Sorry, I robbed that jewelry store. You'll never see me again."
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you do that. You leave a note in her room. It's like 4:30 a.m. What do you guys...
I think we gotta
We
get
need to
moving.
leave Holyhead.
Yeah,
Yeah, we should leave town.
There's
Okay.
no reason
We
for us
should
to
leave
stay if the crowd's not in here anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we should just go back to where we were and have a real sleep.
Yeah, we need to get out of Holyhead. He's going to know that we did it. So we should get out.
Yep, we can make camp at the edge of the forest or something.
Yeah, I mean, so you guys start your way back down the eastern coastal path towards Port Crescent. Like, do you really want to camp, or do you want to just go through the night and get to Port
And
Crescent?
we took an 8-hour sleep before we went and did
Yeah,
that.
we've only been awake for an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
So we might as well trek back to Port Crescent.
Yeah, I mean, you'd get there around midday.
Yeah, that's what Elwin would want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Agreed.
do that.
Okay. Where in Port Crescent are you going to head to first? Do you want to like check in with Anseal? Do you want to go shopping?
I mean, eventually, like you guys said, I really do need thieves' tools. I mean, by the time we get there, it's open, right? But that can happen whenever we get there.
Is there a armor store?
Yeah, I mean, you guys make it all the way back to Port Crescent, and there in the middle of Central Plaza is the armor smith that Peck bought his unseen servant's armor from, clanging away at his open forge in the middle.
I want to go browse, see like what their best armor is right now.
Sure, yeah. He gives you a little nod as you walk up, and he keeps working while you're browsing, and you see that he's got a little bit of everything. He's got, heavy armor, medium armor. He's got a little bit of light armor, but not as much of that.
Well, right now I'm just wearing chainmail. I'm looking for, heavy, I guess, plate.
Okay.
Might as well get more armor.
Yeah. So as far as heavy goes, he's got chainmail on display, kind of like yours. And right next to it is this other slightly heftier set. And it's made of these like narrow strips of metal that are riveted to this, nice durable leather and padding connected by, joints of chainmail. And even heavier looking is the final display set made of these big interlocking metal plates that cover the entire body and look to be attached by a series of large buckles and engraved leather straps. And you can tell just by looking at all of these that they are very expensive.
Cool. Well, I have 23 gold, so.
Okay, yeah, no worries. We can revisit this spot when you're a little bit more liquid. Kelly, did you want to find some...
I mean, since we're out, yeah, I'll get my thieves' tools wherever they are.
Yeah, sounds good. There's actually a couple spots where you could probably get those.
Is there a shop that says thieves, and thieves?
The thieves are us.
Yeah, the thieves are us. Oh.
No, there's like a sort of miscellaneous type shop that you've seen a couple of times. One of the actual building type shops, like the Alchemist, but it doesn't have quite as nice an exterior as hers. Also, because Harp has the criminal contact feature, if you are looking for some shady dude to buy something from, we can make that work.
Yeah, let's support the criminals.
Okay. You start taking a look around the market stalls, and a small mark in the dirt catches your eye next to one of these vendors. You don't actually know thieves can't, but we've established that you do know vaguely what it tends to look like. Like you remember tagging along with Excelia when she'd fenced the occasional item, and it was really common to see a temporary mark like this. Like one that's easy for the shady character to kick away with their foot if they need to like take off in a hurry. And you're right. Yeah, you talk to him a minute and he's definitely got a handful of sets of thieves tools among some other like illicit items. He'll sell you the thieves tools though for like 5 gold.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I was thinking about giving him like a dirty look, but I mean, who cares?
like you want to like intimidate him into lowering the price, or
Yeah.
yeah. All right, okay. Roll intimidation then.
All right. Please don't fail me. Yep, that's the best.
So a 6. Yeah, he kind of looks at you in confusion and slight concern. He's not scared of you, but he might be worried for you because you look weird. And he says, "Yeah, so 5 gold pieces."
Damn. I mean, if I really wanted to push my luck, I could just turn into somebody else and try it again. But no, that's fine. I'm just gonna pay for this. Who cares?
You're gonna leave and come back as someone else.
Yeah, why not? You know what? I'm gonna turn into I swear I was gonna say that. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna give it about 5 minutes, and now Arwell's there.
Yeah. Okay. You walk back up looking like Arwell, and the guy's demeanor is different. And he says, "Hey, welcome back. What do you need?"
You happen to have thieves' tools?
He says, "Not surprised. Those pretty ones you were sporting before are not quite so durable, hmm?" And he slides you the same set of thieves' tools you almost bought from him earlier, and he says, 3 gold.
What the hell?
Cut to an hour later, this guy's been trying to sell one pair of thieves' tools to like 50 people.
You just can't get anyone to take them.
No one will buy it for some reason. They just keep walking out without saying anything.
Yeah, I'll take it for 3.
3 gold?
Yeah.
Okay,
Real
cool.
life story. I forget who it was. There was some establishment that was doing a like come in and get a free, I think it was Italian ice. So my friend went in, left, went to his car, changed his shirt, went back in, left, went to his car, changed his shirt, went back in. The guy was like, you can just keep coming back. You don't have to change your shirt every time.
Perfect.
You know what that sounds like? That's a Rita's water ice on spring.
I think that's actually what it was. I think it was
It
Rita's.
has to be.
So you pay him this 3 gold, Harp, and if you feel like pulling this move in the future, I'll just tell you now, you're going to get better prices when impersonating someone from the guild like that again.
Solid. I'll be pulling that one a lot.
Are there any magic stores in town?
Yeah, there's the Alchemist, whose name you still haven't asked.
I think this is
there's
my
the
third.
Spelling Bee, run by a woman whose name you also didn't ask, I think. It's where Harp got her spell scrolls, though.
I want to go there.
I want to go with him.
I'll follow.
No,
I like magic.
I'll walk around. I don't think I
I'm
need
going to
it.
walk around the town, the square.
Awesome. Yeah. So Meira, Kadmist, and Peck, you walk into the Spelling Bee, and a little bell above the door rings, and the shopkeeper says, "Oh, hey, it's you again. Welcome back."
Do you have any apprentice like Magic 101 cantrips, level 1 spells, etc.?
Ah, yeah, totally. She points at the like bargain bin of cantrips from before, and she says, "Yeah, hey, the beginner barrel is a great place to start if you're new to it."
I'm looking for more of a book to like study.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we do. Hold on. And she grabs that big book from before and starts flipping through it a moment and kind of, glancing back and forth between it and the various shelves and fixtures in the crowded space until she finally says, okay, come with me. And she leads you to a shelf with a bunch of books on it. And she says, "Okay, so everything from right here to right here should be what you're looking for. Except this one. This one's misplaced. Sorry." And she grabs like a thick tome from the shelf and slots it into an empty space on the shelf below it. But you can see that each of the books she indicated is, they each represent like a different school of magic.
Interesting. Peck, which one of the, if you were to choose one of these, which one of these would you choose?
Which one of these? What am I? I just point at one.
I'm honestly asking your opinion, and you don't even care. That's annoying.
Yeah, because Peck right now doesn't really care too much for the paladin who didn't back him up and just let someone who harms a lot of people just go free. So Peck's kind of.
Which one did he point at?
Well, if Peck doesn't actually think about it and just kind of like points at a random one, we're going to roll for it. There are 8 schools of magic, so roll me a d8.
4.
4?
4.
Okay, abjuration.
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah, it kind of makes some sense. Abjuration is the school that brings us many of the like protection type spells, so that works.
How much for this book?
She says, 15 gold pieces sound good?
Will you do 10?
Hey, maybe. Roll persuasion.
Persuasion. 20. Dirty 20.
She says, yeah, okay.
Okay. right. And I give her the gold and I take the book.
Cool. Yeah. If you want to spend some time in game and kind of like study that, we can figure out how much you can learn and junk like that.
It doesn't have to have actual spells because I don't need spells to like pull from paladin things. This is me like queuing up a future thing I'm going to do with my character. So it's fine if it's just a book.
Okay.
I would like to see if I can find 2 spell scrolls, Alarm and Magic Mouth, so that way I can add those to my ritual books because those are both ritual spells.
Yeah. With her help, you're able to find them both. And, you know, she packages them up into a little tube made of like, you know, compressed stiff paper. And she says, okay, so we're looking at 40 gold here.
Do you think we might be able to go a little lower?
Poor lady.
For, another arcane master.
Yeah, roll for persuasion, I guess.
Nat 20.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of laughs and she says, yeah, sure, why not? 28 gold sound good? But you have to come back and show me what you learned, okay?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt. I'm sure we could have a thrilling conversation.
She says, okay, sure. And kind of nods a little goodbye to you, already busying herself with finding her page in the book she was reading before you came in.
That's all I had.
Okay, yeah, you guys head out. What's next on the agenda?
I mean, I think we all need to go into For Real Friends before we go and check in with the town's guard.
For our listeners, this hasn't come up yet. I just gave the party a little list of names of some of the shops in town that they would have seen. And Forever Friends was kind of a gag placeholder name until I could come up with a pet shop. But I guess it's canon now. So there's that. Do you want to go to the pet store?
I would love to.
I really want to go to the pet store.
I would like to go to the pet store also.
I want to go somewhere else, but I'll do mine later.
Come to the pet store.
No. I'm afraid if I go to the pet store, you guys will try and sell me. Yeah, I'm not going.
Yeah, you planted the seed.
I'm going to buy a pseudo dragon.
Is it also going to be a red pseudo dragon? And that way you can never tell us apart?
I'm going to call it Better Peck.
Well, Peck's just his last name anyways.
I wouldn't know.
Dick.
Okay. You're all walking through Central Plaza and the sign catches your eye again. Let's say that it's like a big, cheesy, hokey, gaudy sign that apparently canonically reads Forever Friends, I guess. And in the window, there's just a whole gaggle of small animals wandering around. And it fills you all with excitement, except for Peck, who is filled with a sense of foreboding and does not get too close.
100%.
Okay. So look, this is a nice establishment. Like, it's clean. But if you've ever been around a bunch of baby animals, you just fucking know this place smells like pee. Like, there are rodents, birds, bugs, just small animals everywhere. And the shopkeeper is just this gargantuan minotaur man. And he doesn't even notice you come in. He's just sitting crisscross on the floor, talking in sweet, dulcet tones to, like, a couple of the animals further from the door.
Does it seem like he's being nice, or is it my new short-term girl to let all these animals free?
No. He's like having a full-ass conversation with an iguana right now.
Okay. I politely wait till he finishes and say, hello, sir.
He's like visibly startled, and he starts getting up and he says, oh gosh, hi, sorry about that, welcome in. And even sitting, he was pretty tall, but like at his full height, he's even slightly bent over not to scrape his horns on the ceiling, and you can fully see marks on it that indicate that he's done that a few times in the past.
It's a pleasure. My name is Meira. What is yours?
Yeah, he puts out a hand that's bigger than your head, and he says, pleasure's mine. They call me Asher. And he shakes your hand maybe a bit too enthusiastically, and his silver septum rings sort of jingle around as he does, and he says, so, how can I help you?
We saw your shop from across the way and wanted to have a look around. I myself quite enjoy animals. And
he leans in closer and he says, hey, so do I. And he says, well, take a look around. I'm here if you need anything, but I have to make sure some of these little guys get their breakfast first. And he gives you a slight little bow and heads back to some of the reptiles he was feeding crickets to.
Does he have any snakes?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Like constrictor snakes?
Yeah, for sure. Pretty much every animal in the shop is pretty young. So even the largest constrictor here is maybe big enough to wrap once around your neck if you're like wearing it as a scarf, you know?
Yeah. Great. I said, Asher, how much would it be to adopt one of these snakes you have here?
He says, oh, these little guys? Depends on which one you're looking at, I guess.
I'm looking at the light tan one with no marking.
He leans in close to the glass and says, you know what, tell you what? He's the last of his clutch to be adopted, and I'd like to see him go to a good home sooner than later. 5 gold sound good?
That's wonderful. I'd be very much interested in adopting it.
Yeah, he like excitedly claps his big hands together and says, perfect. And starts gathering some supplies, like, a bit of food for the snake, a little transporting box. And he's like asking if you know how to care for him. Roll for animal handling for that.
Oh, I didn't think about this part. If it goes really bad, I'm just going to speak with it. I mean, it's an 11.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. He seems to be comfortable with your answers to his questions about what you're going to like feed him, etc. And he says, do you want to hold him or...
I do. So I want to take him and I want to because I'm holding my quarterstaff as like a walking stick. And I almost want to kind of encourage it to wrap around the walking stick and see if it crawls up.
Yeah, I mean, he coils up your arm a bit and he wiggles his way into a comfortable spot hanging on, both your arm and the staff. He clearly isn't freaked out by your presence or anything. He's pretty chill.
Great. I am going to hand him the 5 gold and say, I know you've provided some food, but we're traveling quite far. Would I be able to get a couple extra days worth as well?
Yeah, he happily grabs you a small bag of bits of mice and junk, and he winks to the snake with a smile as he hands it to you, and he says, I know you'll take good care of him.
Don't worry, I am gonna speak with this snake a little later on, and we're gonna be friends, and then he can run off.
Get ready for that.
What other types of animals you got in here? Do we have any magical creatures in here?
Do they have pseudo dragons?
No, but just a lot of small animals,
hamsters.
Can I have a hamster? No.
With a little ball, and then it can run around after you in combat.
They do seem to have a handful of rats and mice and squirrels, if that's what you're after.
I could have gotten a squirrel and named it Simon.
Missed opportunity.
What are their bird selection looking like?
We're talking tiny owls, canaries, ravens, finches, thrushes.
How much is the raven?
He says, she's only 6 or 7 weeks old, and she recently started flying. 2 gold seems fair.
Great. I give him 3. That gives me plenty of chance to impress on it. Is that what you call it?
You mean imprint?
You want to impress it?
Imprint on it, yes.
God, I want to impress this bird so bad, you guys.
Roll to impress.
What other animals are there? Is there a badger?
We've got one badger.
We all go into this store and we all come back with animals, and Becca's like, what happened?
What'd you guys do?
It's like Harry Potter. They get their one pet.
How much for the badger?
He says, yeah, normally I don't have anything quite this,
beautiful.
ferocious, I guess. And you can see it kind of bristling as he walks up. It's clearly reacting to just the size of Asher. And he's like, I found him with a broken leg and he scratched me up real good when I was splinting it up. He's fine now, but, he never really acclimated to the shop and he's just kind of a lot. I guess if you really want him, though, I'd have to ask for 15 gold.
It's almost all my gold.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's also 100% of my badgers, so.
How much gold did he say, 15?
I'll buy it. Wait, no, just kidding. I have 38 gold.
I would have helped you, but...
I still thought I had 18. Yeah, I'll buy it.
Okay, first, roll me animal handling.
Bites your hand off.
22.
Yeah, for sure. As Asher is kind of nervously readying this leash situation, and he's trying to untangle it, you lean into the badger and exactly how to hold yourself to be less of a perceived threat than this huge minotaur. And it cautiously sniffs at you and its little nose is twitching around. And Asher slips you a couple of small treats behind your back to feed it. And after a few moments, it's clear that, this will be fine. He hands you the leash for you to keep, but clearly he doesn't think you'll need it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, as you're handing him the 15 gold, he says, hey, thank you, I guess. I really didn't know how that might go. Harp, are you looking for anything here, or?
No, I just imagine Harp kind of trying to pick up as many mice as possible, trying to pet them all. She can't commit to having a pet. She's afraid she's going to lose it. But she definitely is holding 6 of them right now. The temptation to get an owl is overwhelming.
I mean, you could.
Oh my God.
Is my bird in a cage, or is it got a little leash, or what's the dealio with Athena, the poet of justice?
Oh, she's got a name now. Okay. She's hanging out on you, but won't sit still. The shininess of your armor is fascinating as hell, and you can hear on the back of your neck little plink, plink, plink as your chainmail is getting pecked.
Does he have Sir, forgot your name.
It's Asher.
Loktar Asher. Do you have any little bird leashes?
Bird leash.
You know, like you attach to its foot or something?
Yeah, you know your bird leash.
You know, your typical bird leash.
I like a good bird leash.
I mean, he kind of gives you like a confused look, and he reaches a high shelf and grabs a falconer's glove that's entirely too big for you, and he holds it up like...
Bird leash.
Yeah, I mean, you insist on this bird leash idea, and I guess he like finds his smallest collar and smallest leash, and he like trims the collar down to fit around Athena's ankle, and affixes the leash to it, and kind of steps back to look at the absolute wild thing you just asked him to make, and he says, I don't know if that's going to be a long-term solution. Do you just want a little cage?
I'll take the cage too. That's fine.
Okay, yeah, he gives you a little cage that she will surely grow out of.
I also sent a very good link of bird leashes.
I did appreciate the harnesses.
I gotta see whatever the hell a bird leash looks like.
A bird leash.
I've owned a bird for 27 years, and this is the first I've ever heard of a bird
It's like
leash.
a full-ass harness, isn't it? It's just like, it like goes over the whole bird, but like leaves the wings free, I guess.
Oh, I hate that.
You know, I'll tell you what. You draft this thing up for one of the leathersmiths in town, and I'll give you a fucking bird bondage harness if that's really what you want.
I hate it so much. Maybe if you're nice to Peck, he can help you out with that.
Why, does Peck have a bird leash?
No, Peck can help him draw it up because Peck is really into map making, so he's really good at drawing.
Oh, is that some of that backstory?
Yeah, this is that newfangled backstory.
It is, yeah, he has,
I've been hearing so much about.
Yeah.
Or I can order it for $34.99 from mybirdstore.com.
Yeah, just a quick note here. Vibe Proficiency is not affiliated with mybirdstore.com.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to expend a spell slot and cast Speak with Animals.
Perfect.
Oh, God, here it is.
I just want to get a sense of its personality. Do an insight check, maybe. Because
Okay.
I want to name it.
Slithery.
I don't know if he's a silly snake and I should name him Noodles, or if I should go with Simon,
Okay, yeah.
or something
Can you roll
mythical.
for silly?
I'm going to roll for like what its personality is, I guess.
Great.
Let's make a little d6 let's get some personality traits.
Do you want to roll Pokemon nature of him?
Oh,
Can it
yeah,
talk like that
yeah.
I'm a snake guy on YouTube?
Roll a d20 and I'll read it off of the Pokemon nature table.
Yeah, sounds good.
14.
That'd be a curious nature.
Okay. You cast Speak with Animals. What do you say?
Okay. I'm just like chatting. I'm saying, hello, friend.
The snake like pulls his head back quickly and then leans towards you slowly, kind of tilting its head in curiosity, and it says, "You can talk?"
I can. Well, sometimes can, but I can understand you.
He coils further up your quarterstaff to get closer to like eye level with you, and he's studying you, and he says, "How interesting."
Oh, you're quite the curious one, aren't you?
He says, "I was born here. The ones who come in don't usually talk."
Well, good news for you is we're about to go on some big adventures.
He says, "I think I'd like that."
Great. Now, would you rather be called Noodles or Simon?
I think that, like, obviously the sibilance on Simon is more appealing to him.
Great. So his name is Simon. I'm not going to tell him he's named after a squirrel, though, because I don't know how that would
Yeah, good call.
bode well with him. And so I'm just going to, the spell lasts 10 minutes. I'm not going to make you go through 10 minutes of chatting, but
Yeah, thank you.
Can we?
no, I'm just going to have like little small talk with him for 10 minutes and just like get to know
Yeah,
about.
for sure. You talk for like 9 minutes or so, and you learn a bit about each other. He's pretty young. He doesn't have a wealth of life experience to share with you or anything, but you both seem to have a good rapport going as the spell starts to fade, and it's comfortable. And in the remaining seconds of your 10 minutes, you sort of both wordlessly agree that this will work out, and you'll probably talk later. And he coils himself around your forearm and nestles into place.
We haven't gotten to bloodletting yet. Let's go to bloodletting.
Yeah, so this is another one from the list that I sent. Over the tops of the market stalls across the way, you see a big sign with, I guess, the now canonical name, Bloodletting, on one of the brick and mortar, like, permanent building shops. Upon entering, I assume you're gonna, like, detect magic as you walk in, like usual.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So you walk in, and yeah, there's like a ton.
Tons. Perfect.
Yeah, it's just an absolute cacophony of colorful auras when you start detecting magic in here. It's almost like damn near everything in this dimly lit and poorly ventilated space is magical in some way.
It's almost like it's a magic sword.
Yeah, a bit, yeah.
Do they have any decks of cards I can use to become a master magician?
Yeah, 100%. There's a deck of plain playing cards nearby the door, and you reach for it and quickly realize it's one of the few things in here that is not casting a magic aura.
No magic.
Yeah, no magic. It's weird.
Except like the Queen of Spades has a little bit of magic residue on it.
Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. No, you get the vibe that this place is an absolute horde of miscellaneous odds and ends. And there's just a ton of like hanging light fixtures, but nearly none of them are lit. And glancing again, you see price tags on all of them. And there's a dingy rug you're standing on in the doorway, and it's marked with a tag. All the fixtures, the tables, the shelves, everything on them, it all seems to be marked with tags. Like everything in here seems to be for sale.
Shoot.
Like mix an antique shop, the mystery shack, and one of those shitty gift shops in a tourist trap city, and then turn off most of the lights and make it smell like dust. And that's what we're working with here. And there's just no shopkeeper or even another single patron around.
Is there a bell I can ring?
Yeah, there is. It's right on the counter, and it's got a price tag too.
Ding. Ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, you're rigging it. You don't really hear anything.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, you're like absent-mindedly like dinging away,
Ding.
kind of letting your eyes wander around the space, and then seemingly out of nowhere, there's just like a gaunt, tall drow in front of you on the other side of the counter, and he just places his hand on top of yours on the bell, and he says, "How may I be of assistance?"
Hello.
Hello. And he retracts his hand and like brushes a loose strand of his white hair off of his forehead back over his ear. And he says, "What can I do for you, friend?"
Yes, I was. Do you buy magical artifacts here?
Yeah, I mean, he looks up and to the side as if in thought, and he grabs his chin and he says, "An interesting proposition. Historically, no. Most are only looking to purchase here. However, I suppose I could be persuaded."
I have this ring. It says when worn, you can use it to light up your area, as well as draw lighting bits on surface that will last for up to 8 hours.
He slightly raises his eyebrows and says, "Intriguing. May I?" And he holds out a thin, long-fingered hand to you.
I hand it to him.
He raises it to the dim light, and his deep red eyes survey it before he like looks back at you and kind of lifts an eyebrow in sort of like a questioning way and gestures like he wants your permission to put it on.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he puts it on and he uses it to draw a streak of light on the counter and nods approvingly before taking it off and putting it back down, and he says, "Exquisite, truly. Thank you." And he sighs and thinks a moment and says, "I suppose I'd be willing to part with 2 for it."
To what?
He says, "Oh, good sir, my apologies. I assumed you were familiar with the shop and how things tend to work here."
Oh, first time.
Indeed. Welcome to bloodletting. And he walks to the far wall beyond the counter and picks up a small something that glints in the dim light and says, "My name is Denor. I trade in this." And he sets a small vial of blood on the counter in front of you.
Yes.
And now that you can see this one up close, you can tell that there are just hundreds of similar vials on that back wall, each with a label like the one in front of you.
You traded blood.
Correct.
So if I was to, for instance, bleed someone into a vial, I could come here and use that blood as payment?
Well, good sir, let's not be crass. Particularly, I'm interested in samples that are difficult to find.
He's a vampire.
Yep.
I can't condone you wandering around Port Crescent stabbing bystanders.
I would never from here. That's don't bleed where you eat, am I right?
He nods and says, "Oh heavens, no, of course not."
Also, this guy definitely sees someone dressed in all black and a mask hiding their face talking to him.
Yeah, you look like the world's most awkward mercenary. Yeah, and he says, "As I said, I'm willing to part with 2 lesser common vials for that ring."
How much, for instance, is like, I don't know, 5 vials of red pseudo-dragon blood worth?
I think we can go higher than 5. I'd be willing to part with, say, 10.
It's okay. You aren't here. You don't know. You guys are all buying animals. Do you have any bags of holding?
Yeah, he looks over your shoulder and nods towards a table behind you and says, "In fact, I do." And yeah, there's one sitting there on the table with a little do not touch sign in front of it.
And how many vials would that be?
Chandler,
worth?
can you bring my character to the store? Just curious about something.
No, not at all. How much would you say a vial of pseudo-dragon blood would go for? Would a vial of pseudo-dragon blood go for a bag of holding?
He looks at the pseudo-dragon on your shoulder and says, I'd be willing to make a trade along those lines, yes?
Oh, wonderful. I will be back in a few moments.
BRB.
I want to go find like a small little hallway so I can try and get some blood out of me, and it's gonna be
cool. Gross.
like it's gonna be real difficult for me to do it. I'm gonna be like get real close and go, no, can't do it.
Make me a medicine check.
Is your blood elf blood or is it pseudo-dragon blood?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's pseudo-dragon blood. Like physically right now, you are 100% grade B pseudo-dragon meats.
That's a 14. No, 12.
Yeah, you're able to extract a vial of your blood and,
Does it hurt a lot?
no, not as bad as you thought, actually, no.
I want to head back inside. Hello, I have what we agreed upon.
He says, as do I. And he's got the bag of holding on the counter for you.
Oh, wonderful. As well as, would you like to do the ring trade as well?
Yeah, he nods and gestures to 2 vials also already on the counter, and one of them is labeled Blink Dog, and the other one says Fiend with a question mark.
Oh, you'll like that, you nasty warlock.
I think we can make this trade.
He says, lovely, and he slides you the vials in the bag.
Cool. Pass him the ring and the vial of my blood.
He immediately pulls a cleaning cloth from his breast pocket and starts polishing the ring and says, it's been a pleasure, good sir. I hope our paths cross again.
Same to you. I'd like to go ahead and put those 2 vials of blood into the bag of holding to make sure they don't get destroyed.
Yeah, you slip them into the pocket dimension in the bag of holding, and it's a strange sensation, like reaching into a little part of a place that isn't really part of your known universe. But you let them go, and they're safe here.
Also, just as a side, I want to go just pick up some other vials from a random miscellaneous store. Just grab 5 or 10 vials just to keep, on hand for if we encounter anything and I need to scoop up some blood.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, probably the
rats, bats, and vats.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. I want to go in there with 2 things. First thing, halfling woman, what is your name?
Yeah, you burst in the alchemist shop, and you can see that she's extremely startled by the speed at which someone just cramered into the store and shouted a question at her. And she says, "Oh God, hi again. Wow, what an entrance. What was the question? Sorry, it's Hildry, love." And she bends down to scoop up some potting soil she spilled when you burst in.
I open the door and I yell out her name, hoping that the rest of my party can hear it. Hey, her name's Hildry!
Okay. Is anyone else going in with him, I guess?
If we hear it from across the square, I do go over that way because I figure it's best we don't let Peck stay on his own too long.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you have any leftover vials from different experiments that I could perchance take off your hands?
She says,
just empty vials. I'm wanting to get into a little of alchemy. Yes, I would like to, experiment.
Sure. And she heads back behind a curtain, and you can hear her call to you. How many do you think you need? I think I have 3 that you can have.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, she comes back out and she's wrapping up the vials for you and making small talk.
So kind.
Make a perception check.
Ooh, oh man, my second favorite type of check. That's an 8.
Yeah, okay, no worries then.
I see some empty vials.
Yep, you just see empty vials, and she's handing them to you. And
is she wearing a ring? Is she wearing a sapphire ring? It's already coming back to haunt us, guys.
Are you specifically trying to check her hands or something?
No, I don't think I would be thinking that far ahead. I think I'm still a little lightheaded from the blood.
Yeah, from the blood.
We see her name tag. Her name isn't actually Hildra.
Have I made it there on time?
Yeah, you probably walked in while she was grabbing the vials from the back. If you want to make a perception check too.
Okay. That's a 12.
Yeah, Meira, you're walking into the store. She's sliding the wrapped vials across the counter, and she smiles brightly at you. And as she does, you notice that her cheeks are slightly rosier than before. Like she's wearing extra blush, and you notice just a tiny hint of a bruise on her cheek that's almost been covered up by it. It's not awful, but it's enough for you to tell.
And she didn't have it the last time we saw her, right?
Not that you noticed, no.
Forgive me for being rude, but are you all right?
She sees you looking at her cheek and kind of quickly rolls her sleeve down and brings her other hand up to the bruise on her face and says, "Oh, you noticed it, did you? Not to worry, love. I took a tumble on the stairs yesterday is all."
Oh, yeah, no, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. I want to make an inside check on that.
Yeah, roll a vibe check.
15?
15. It's weird how that went down. Something's off, for sure.
Toad's lying.
I'll go up to her and I'll be very quiet and I'll be like, You've been very kind to us, and if there's any way we can help, please let us know.
She puts her hand on your arm and says, "Oh, thank you, sweetie. I'm doing just fine. I don't want you worrying about me. You've got important work to do and all."
All right, but you know where you can find us. Just let the guards know, and they know how to contact us.
She says, "Sure thing, dear. You're staying in Nancy's home, aren't you?"
Yes, he's been helping us ever since the incident.
She says, "Of course, love. Yeah, he's a lovely man, and he's got a long history with this town. I'm sure he's taking care of you." Roll a vibe check again.
Yep, this all does not seem right. 18.
Yeah, she's saying things that are true, but you get the feeling that she doesn't love saying them. But she says, "Anyhow, what can I do for you?"
Oh, I just was coming to check in on our friend Peck, and then I want to purchase from her. I'm guessing she has like some spell ingredients, so I want to get a shamrock from her. So I'll ask her if I can purchase that.
"Sure thing, sweetie." And she walks over to some of the little ground plants and asks, "Now, would that be 3 or 4 leaf?"
How about 2 of the 3 leaf, please?
Yeah, she pulls these tiny, tiny scissors from one of the many pockets of her shop apron, and she snips the clovers and hands them to you and says, "Just the 2? On the house, then."
I'm going to tie one deliberately in front of her onto my quarterstaff. And then I want to kind of put the other one. I said, if you need this, put this in the corner of the window of your shop. And this way no one else has to know. But if we see this, we know you need our help.
Oh, fuckaroo. Yeah, well, take a point of inspiration for this, please, and thank you. Yeah, she takes the one back and she gives you this beaming smile and a little nod. And she puts it gently into a small empty pocket of the apron.
And I think with that, unless Peck needs anything else, we'll bid our farewells.
I'm good. I didn't even hear half of that because I was too busy like putting my vials away. You're like, oh, this is. I was like, just thinking about all the stuff I can do with this.
Yeah, all the lucrative business dealings with stolen blood.
I'm not gonna steal it. If we fight a creature, I'm gonna try and like get their blood. I'm gonna be a witcher.
You're gonna make a bunch of necrophage oil.
No, yeah, I'm planning like if we like come across like a random monster or something, I can like be like, that's some cool blood.
Yeah, or someone from like the Kalishtar region, or like I don't know, a changeling. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I'll go into a great lucrative deal with Harp and be like, hey, when you shape change, does your blood change? Because we can get all sorts of blood going.
You know what's gonna happen now though? Every fight where either Harp or Kira gets injured, you're just going to see Peck with his tiny vials.
No, you're not going to see Peck. You're going to see a mage hand holding a vial just coming up behind, just trying to let the blood go in. I'm also not telling anyone about bloodletting at all.
Yeah, probably not. Like, you probably have to tell them about your selling of the stolen ring then, so.
Absolutely.
Y'all heading out then, I take it?
Yeah, I want to, as they're walking out the shop, I bring my arm up to me and I like quietly whisper to Simon while mostly ignoring Peck and be like, this is Peck. We trust him mostly. And Peck can hear.
I would like to reach out with my mind to the snake. Can I understand the snake in his head?
Yeah, sure. What images or feelings do you send him?
I just impart on it. I'm not sure how I trust them right now, but if we have to kill them, I'll save you.
Okay. I don't want you talking to my bird, Chandler. I really don't.
You guys thought you were getting fun pets? Peck's gonna start an uprising with your pets.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna speak. Now it's just gonna be a fight between his limited telepathy and my speak with animals.
Be great.
Just wait till I add befriend animal to my spell.
I'm gonna multi-class just to talk to my bird.
It'll be too late at that point.
Okay, so what are y'all doing?
Does Casey need to buy anything? I feel like Casey didn't buy anything.
He bought a honey badger.
Bought a badger.
He did buy a badger. I forgot about the badger.
Oh, badger, sorry.
Oh, Kelly was who didn't buy anything, right?
Yeah, I was hoping like a mouse would just get stuck in my pocket or something.
Tried to steal a mouse?
I mean, she could try.
Why do you want a mouse?
I don't know. It's the only thing that would fit in my pocket. I can't snag an owl.
How big's your pocket?
Flowers for
I'm
Algernon?
just afraid if you steal a mouse, I have a snake now. He's a baby. He doesn't know better.
Definitely going to.
I mean, Kelly, roll me a retroactive sleight of hand then.
It's an 11.
Yeah, I mean, there was like a lot going on in there. You were definitely able to pocket one of the smallest mice.
Sweet.
What do you name it?
I don't know yet.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Mickey, Minnie.
Absolutely not. Vetoed.
It's I don't know, something stupid. You know what? It's cheddar.
Are you trying to say the name Cheddar is stupid for a mouse?
Yeah, you have a small mouse named Cheddar in your pocket, I guess.
I mean, can it breathe?
Yeah, it turns out it's really not that difficult to breathe through a piece of fabric.
I got a mouse, everyone. For free.
Guess we can go see Dude Man.
Man, I should have seen if Denora was sparkling. Should check.
He was inside.
Try and figure out what kind of vampires we're dealing with.
Yeah, you didn't happen to do a Twilight check, so
Didn't do a
it's hard to
Twilight
say.
check. Dang it! Next time I'll do a Twilight check.
Yeah, no, it's not actually even a roll. You just have to go up to somebody and say it out loud.
I'll just get really close to him. Say it.
I know what you are.
You can try to sell him a magical mirror and see if he reflects.
I'll come
great
in with
call,
a
yeah.
camera and be like, "Hey, selfie for my favorite store owner."